We are live, and I will be as quiet as possible because it's 1 a.m. and I'm not in my place. So I will hope that you will listen to me. So, welcome also the team replay that will join later on. Thank you so much, also. And it is um, the Saturday Mental Health, and at the same time, this is an unexpected time because anyway, I was willing to make it happen. I was not just knowing when it will happen because I am abroad. I am in Italy and I enjoyed an amazing day in my 2 day conference. And I was having an after party and I wanted to be sure to be available. Not say, okay, let's meet at like 10 p.m. my time or 11 p.m. my time if I am not available, you know. So I was able to go into my hotel and here I am. So I will run this session for an hour. It could be also 45 minutes. It will depend on the flow. So welcome also anyone who is watching right now and anyone who is watching the team replay. I'm just checking in if I am audible. And yeah, I am audible. So we will hopefully welcome also Christine Vaughan. Uh, and I'm really happy that she accepted this challenge a few hours ago. And she will join on Restream, hopefully. I just have to check if she will be there or if she is struggling to having access. So I see your emojis. Thank you so much. And anyway, I'm going to do it. That's why even if it's late, even I know there was no people invited, no people aware about this session, I will make it anyway because I truly believe of the power of the team replay. So while I'm waiting that our amazing guest will join, I would like to thank the people that are watching now. Thank you so much for joining us. So the reason of Saturday Mental Health, which was before and Saturday social Saturday, is to connect with people and to see what could I do, what could we do to foster mental health. So I acknowledge that Christine will be on stage very soon, and thank you so much for accepting my challenge. So I can start with myself. The topic that I chose was how could we be resilient in tough times? Because in our lives, we have good and bad moments. This is, in fact, in any human being life, the thing that is constant, that is sure. Any human being on earth will have difficulties and blessings. And let me reframe that, maybe difficulties are blessings because it allows us to grow or to learn or to ask for help. We are not living in a world of Adam and Eve. There were only two. We are 8 billion, 8 plus billion people. It means that everyone on earth is able to connect with any human being in his place or all around the world and be able to give, be able to receive. And building resilience in tough times is a skill that is not a checkbox. It's a skill that is not something that is within us. It's something that we learn year after year, day after day. And we are all different. So we are 8 billion plus people, and based on our location, our body costume, our culture, our environment, we might have different struggles and different ways to overcome struggles. And so different strategies to get to resilience. And as it's not a checkbox, whoever you are, in whichever stage you are, from the young Padawan stage, thank you for acknowledging my reference to Star Wars, from your Padawan, young Padawan stage to your Yoda stage, you will all have struggles. You will all have obstacles based on the level at you're at. If you are a young Padawan, the universe, God, Jesus, whatever you name it, will not give you the challenges that are the challenges that will face Yoda. And thank you for the heart and the emojis. Feel free also to jump on stage. I bring the link on the restream so that you can join and share your light. And so I say that not in a place of, oh, I have information. I am the master. I will give you a lesson. No, my friends, I I am the and I am struggling. So with that, we are welcoming Christine. Thank you so much for accepting and welcome also Sherlock.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
So I don't know
welcome
how well
Sherlock.
this is going to work, but we're going to try.
It's happy. Sherlock,
Yeah,
you can
I'm
also
sorry, my
you
boyfriend's here.
can
Yeah, Ollie said, "Welcome, Sherlock."
you can also invite Sherlock. He has maybe something to say.
He's got a lot to say. He's, just got stuff to say, and yeah, but he's the dumbest, smartest, most insane, calmest, best, worst, retardedest, meanest, sweetest dog I've ever met. All at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time.
And maybe he is your Yoda.
He's something. He's my
Yeah,
something for sure. No, I love him, and a lot of people that know that I lost Bonnie, several weeks ago, very unexpectedly, and he is actually a German Shepherd Chihuahua mix, which I was like, that's interesting. I would like to know how that happened. But we went and we saw them, and it was a very big Chihuahua, so no worries. But she had 9 puppies. There were 7 boys and 2 girls, and I wanted 2 of them. I wanted 2 of them so bad, 2 boys to raise together, but feasibly in my capacity, I just got one. So I'm glad I did because he's a handful. But he's very, very smart, and he's very, very. I don't really believe in reincarnation. I've never really explored anything like that. But he has a lot of his mannerisms and a lot of the things that he does and the way that he acts is identical to Bonnie. and he was actually born about a week after Bonnie. That's something I definitely would like to talk to Deirdre about. Deirdre would know, you know what I mean? She's like the animal person. But they were, they were being born and passing right at the same time, and he's very, very much like Bonnie, and it's been the greatest joy that I've had in my life since I've lost Bonnie. So
Yeah, let me share an observation. He might be sent by you angels.
yeah, I absolutely think so. He might also be sent by Satan. We're not sure yet. So
Well, you have to test. You have to test if he's from Satan or the angels. But I truly believe that it's the angels because
I think so too. But he's fun. He's super fun. He's just a puppy. He's not mean at all. He's just a puppy. So I'm really excited
mm,
about getting him involved in, and it's really good for me too. I'm really excited about getting him involved in like some agility training and possibly some search and rescue training. Because I do a lot of cyber investigations now. So John came up with the name Sherlock. We thought that was great. Of course, I wanted another one, and of course, I would call him Watson. I mean, what else would you call
of
him? So
course
wouldn't that be cool to have two like Sherlock and Watson? So
it
we're
can
just
be
gonna go.
both. You know,
He
it can be both. You know,
he could be
at
the
some
smart, deductible, analytical, logical, irrational one all at the same time.
yeah, and you know what? It depends on his character. Like I could also name myself depending of my behavior. Like I could say, "Oh, stop to be your broccoli."
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
welcome, Christine, and thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining.
So
And
yeah, if I'm in and out of audio, it's like if he starts barking, I'll turn the audio off. Or and I know that LinkedIn's been doing, and this is Restream, which is a lot easier. But like I know on the and I'm sorry, I thought we were just gonna do a LinkedIn audio, so I had to like go and get myself together a little bit before I
yeah,
knew I was gonna do video, which is fine. But the LinkedIn audio has been dropping people off stage like a lot. Like last night with mine and Noni's room, I think I had to rejoin, and I was co-host, and I had to rejoin like 20 sometimes. And Dr. Constance was telling us that she thinks it's because like LinkedIn has just sort of exploded lately. And so where there were a certain amount of users, now there's like so many more users. And so they just can't keep up with it. So if I do get bumped off and keep hopping back on, then that's why. So, but yeah, I'm here.
all is fine, and I love you to the moon. I just want to share something. I will go the details, but in I was organizing an audio event for Masha, and then here comes the blessing to welcome Lady Drew. And then I was, instead of cutting her mic, I was placing the button to place her in the audience, and she was blocking me. She was saying that or bad words, whatever. So it's like, okay, I just want to say to Lady Drew, I still love you, whatever you decide. If you decide to block me, it's okay. I give you lots of good blessings for the rest of your path. But it's like, okay, we all make mistakes, and it's about how you react. And I do my work. Sometimes I'm activated, but I'm healing. So, Lady Drew, I still love you energy. Meow, like she would say, but it's okay. So, about resilience, I would like to talk about that because few days and weeks ago, I came through a lot of changes, especially these last days. And for me, I was blessed for this. Probably 10 or 15 years ago, I would say, but now I see, okay, maybe there is a learning. Maybe I struggle right now. I'm, I have the right to be pissed off, but I know now that if it happened to me right now, it means that either I have to learn something, or either there was a lesson from the past I was not yet learning. I was knowing that every time that something is repeating over and over and over, it means that I was not ingesting that lesson from the past. So, about resilience, what are your thoughts, dear Angel Christine?
Sort of, well, like you said, I feel like, there's
Okay, you are cutting out. I don't know if it's in my time, my place, or in your space. It sounds like working right now, but it's freezing. Okay, she's back.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry. It keeps saying connection lost,
All
which
is fine. All is
can you hear?
fine.
Okay. No, so
Yes.
what you said, like I feel like there's times when I'm like I'm trying to do something and I want to do something and I keep going after it and I keep there's things I do and I keep hitting brick walls and I keep running into obstacles and I feel like I'm just fighting the world. Maybe that's not the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. you know not to say that there's definitely a space for trying to do something and it not working out, but you keep on persevering because it's hard and it's something you want to do. That's one thing. But trying to do something and we're like nothing's working out and like things keep falling through and you just feel like that like when is this gonna maybe that's not the path that you're supposed to take, and the universe or God or whatever you want to call it is trying to guide you toward another path. And when we stay in our own will and we try to self-will everything and do, I want to do everything that Kristen wants to do. Well, you know what? Kristen is not the smartest person on the planet sometimes. So, Kristen's brain lies to her. Kristen's brain tells her things that are probably not great ideas. Kristen's brain tells her that she's not good enough. So I can't always depend on Kristen's brain. So those are the times that I have to be resilient to look outside of myself and find like, okay, this isn't working out. Why am I fighting with all of these causes or these issues or these people or this organization or this company? Like, why am I fighting constantly? Like, what is there? Let's find another path. Let's find another avenue around to fix the problem we're trying to do. There's a good friend of mine in Ben's. His name is Scott Mann. He is ex Green Beret, and the Green here comes Sherlock, and the Green Berets have a saying. It's called "by, with, and through." So, Scott, one of his examples is he says that the Marines, for example, U.S. military, the Marines, they will be given a very strategic target. They can go in and like surgically take care of that, like go in, take care of the target, and leave. The Green Berets approach it differently. They actually will go in country. They'll live with, for example, one of his examples he gives in Afghanistan. They'll go and live there. They'll, grow the long beards. They'll become part of the culture. They'll learn and they'll work through, they'll literally do it by, with, and through the people. So if I'm trying to do something and I'm just feel like I'm screaming at walls, and it's not working, then maybe I need to take a step back and say, how can I do this and approach this in a different manner to where I'm working by, with, and through? And that is where, for me, that is wherein the resilience comes in, because that puts like a wall around me. Like, okay, it didn't work this way this time. Let's try it another way. And then once you start putting one foot in front of the other and things start working out, you like put another brick in that wall. You put another brick in that wall where you have a layer of protection around you, where you have like the feeling of, again, universe, God, faith, whatever you have around you that's protecting you, that makes you feel resilient, that gives you a firm foundation, that builds you up. So that's my 2 cents on resilience.
Yeah, and it's even more than 2 cents. I want to extend this learning from you by saying that you have amazing value and that it's even more worth than 2 cents. I know that it's an expression, but I'm more aware about other words, and I want to include myself in the I should improve my word because sometimes I do some words that are not helpful. But it's like for me, it's also it could be a challenge because I'm not religious, but I believe on Jesus. So that means also there is the devil.
Yeah.
And so for any event, I have to know first, is it an event from Jesus or is it an event from the devil?
Right. And now, don't you wish they would just like send you a text message or a post-it note and be like, before you go through all these trials and tribulations trying to figure this out, like, let me just let you know if this is an evil thing or a good thing. Because there's so many times when I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I want to do this thing, or I want to work with these people, or I want to try this thing. And then, like, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the road, I'm like, wow, that was a horrible decision. I never should have done that. And it's
Mm,
like, okay, lessons learned. Like, I could have saved all that time. Oh, hey,
mm.
Cherry.
Yeah, so here is the auntie of Sherlock. Cherry Holmes.
Yes, it
Uh,
is. That is Sherlock's auntie.
yeah, and welcome Cherry, and welcome also Angelica. I see her message on
He's very
LinkedIn, but
calm now,
on
so
Ministry. So welcome also Angelica. So amazing. Aloha, mahalo, Hohana, dear Sherry. I love Hawaiian culture, by the way. So yeah, so knowing first if it's Jesus or the evil, because then you will have a different response.
well,
If it's
do we have to really necessarily do you because I normally don't. I normally like I can feel if it's from okay, so I'm a Christian. I'm not very religious. I'm very spiritual.
mm,
I grew up Southern Baptist, and that just the whole organized religion thing just sort of warped me. But I'm a very spiritual person. My grandfather's a minister. I grew up very very much in the faith,
mm,
still very much in the faith. But I don't go to church every Sunday. I don't whatever. But I'm super spiritual. So
mm,
a lot of times, like I will have that feeling like, wow, this is really working out. This is really good. I'm going to go with this. This is God. This is what God wants me to be. But then
yeah, so
sometimes it's not. Do you feel like that we need to know beforehand, or do you feel like that we should go ahead and step out on faith and do the best that we can? And then when we notice, okay, maybe this isn't for me, that's when we need to pull back.
yeah, so if I understand well, it means that you don't even have to question. You will go with what you receive, and then you will feel in your body.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that if it's from the devil, God will tell us through our feelings also. I
Right.
believe
Yeah, and
because
I mean, and that could be a whole other webinar on
of course,
existentialism and
of course,
on what is God's will and all that. But so I feel like
yeah,
if I feel called to do something, if I see a situation to where I'm like, hey, I could potentially help this, I could fix this. This is something I need to do. I will do it. I will do it until it feels not right to do it. Does that make sense? Like I'll
yes,
do it,
yes,
and if all of a sudden something happens and I'm like, whoa, this is not cool. I should not be here. This is not of God. Then I will step away. But I feel like
yeah,
it's important for me personally to go ahead and step out on faith and do those things because I don't I have a hard I don't have a hard time hearing God or hearing God's voice, but sometimes it just takes him a little longer to get back to me than I wish he would. So
mm,
sometimes he just lets me go and do my own thing, and then he's like, "Whoa, girl, you need to maybe back up a little bit." But he'll let me go make my own mistakes and let me do my own thing. But I mean, the lessons learned. But I do feel I feel that conviction in my heart. I feel that universe, and I feel
yeah.
the thing that says, "Whoa, stop," or "Whoa, keep going."
Yeah, because and I won't go too much on the spirituality or
Right.
religion, but I truly believe that there is like it's when there are a struggle, metaphorically you are walking in the path, and it's getting harder and harder and harder to
Yeah,
go
that's usually need to
forward this path, but then there is two ways possible. Either it's a faith test. Like,
right. I know.
are you
Right.
going to give up quickly, or are you going to trust and to continue, or
Yeah.
is it a sign from God to say, this is not your path, change your path?
Right. Right. Well, and I think that's for me, that's where I depend on my community. That's where I depend on people, like you and Cherry and Jane and Yolanda and all of our friends, like our crew. And I could be like, you guys like or and Marsha, and I'm like, this or and Noni, like be like this doesn't feel right. This feels weird. What do you think about this? Or this feels really good. What do you think about this? And there are things not oftentimes, but there are things that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, and I want to do this, and this is amazing. And then people, people like my friend Kalila or Cherry or Yolanda or John will be like, no, you need to get away from them. That is not a good situation. And so it's sometimes I don't have the best radar, but it's like that's when I depend on my community that comes around me that I can trust. That could be like, hey, this is not of God, this is not some, or this is not of the universe. This is not some. These are not people you need to be around. This is not an organization you need to support. This is not a situation you need to be in. Or they'll, when I'm doing this, the whole self doubt and the whole like self sabotage thing, and I'm like, I don't know, I can't do this, and then my community will come around me and be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is a credible opportunity for you, absolutely should be doing this. So that's where I really really depend on other people for that.
Mm, thank you, thank you. So aside that, I want also to thank you again, Cherry and Angelica, for your presence. I
Oh,
please,
Angelica, hey.
yeah, I was not seeing her on Restream, but I was seeing her on LinkedIn. She was commenting, and apologize if you are commenting on LinkedIn and I don't see you because maybe it's also the a bug. We are six actually, including myself on LinkedIn, so it's amazing. Aside that, I wanted also to acknowledge that the things that you shared, the community is important, and also to be surrounded by the right people, which doesn't mean that they have to be perfect, but are they supporting you? Are they elevating you? Or are they downing you? So that's really important. People that are able to be there for you and to allow you to shine to them your true light without you having to put lenses or to
Mhm.
dim your light. That's
Yeah.
really important because anyway, we are 8 billion people, so we might be friends with millions and millions of people, but at the end, there are probably uh, less than 6 or 10 friends that are truly your core friends.
And there's a really cool saying. It's like you are, and somebody can correct me on this, and I'm sure I could Google it, but it's you are the measure of the five people that you spend the most of your time around.
That's it. That's it. And that's also what is amazing is that many people interpret like this, like, oh, but then I will unfriend some people and friend some millionaires. But they don't realize also that there is not currency that is playing in the universe. There is not the currency of money. There are those other currencies that are playing that they might not know, but they are seeds. And it's like I love also this picture.
What do you think the most important, if you were to take all of the characteristics of humanity and you had to turn them all into a dollar bill or currency. So, for example, integrity, character, happiness, hope. Each one of those would be a different currency. What do you, Ali, think would be the most important currency for us to have and for us to give to each other and use for a currency?
For me, the most important as the currency, there are many, but the most three important, I think, the top one is the currency of caring. Because if I don't care, like it's my or my struggle also. Like I care about people, but not all the people. I have to say it because there are people that I see on the street that are called community members, and I see them right there, but I don't see them right there. So I see them
But
afar.
you see them right here.
I,
You're one of
s-
those people. You see them right here. You do.
I see them afar,
Mhm.
and then I see them. No, I don't see them. It's like the horse. I
Do you
put
think that's a
some.
conscious choice, or do you think that that is humans have been conditioned in civilized society to just sort of go about our business and just sort of keep it moving? And if it doesn't affect us, it doesn't affect us. Like, yeah, I know that you're not like that personally, but I'm saying, like, in general, do you think that humans have been? I think so. That society has been like, you know, that person that's unhoused or may be suffering from a drug addiction or may need money for whatever. That's and they're there, but it doesn't affect you. It doesn't do with your family. You can just keep it moving, and somebody else will take care of the problem.
So I can share, I think, I'm not sure at 100%, but I can share my thoughts, is that um, there are multiple things, but the main thing is that I don't see them, because if I see them, it will mean that I will have to give them money, and then there is a decision. Either I'm going to send them uh, 10 cents, 50 cents, 1 euro, no matter what, or not. And if I send them money, there is my unconscious behavior that says, oh, by the way, I'm going to buy a beer, or to uh, give them to their uh, Mac, because also there are also homeless trafficking.
Well,
People,
I'll tell you something somebody told me a long time ago. So I understand where you're coming from, and so when I live in Virginia, which is a very rural area. There's I mean, there's a bus system here, but it's not like it's not really like public transportation. So when I exited trafficking in 2005, I moved to Nashville, which is huge. We had a huge bus system. And so I would ride on buses. And so a lot of the unhoused people that, they would have like their shelters and stuff. They're not allowed to stay there during the day. They want them out looking for jobs and trying to be productive. And so they can be there from like, I don't know, maybe 6 p.m. till 6 a.m., something like that. But they have to be gone during the day. So a lot of times, because of the mental health issues and stuff like that, they didn't have anywhere else to go. They couldn't get a job. They would just get on the buses and just ride the buses until it was time to go back. So and I felt like that too. It was like if I talked to because of my heart, if I talked to someone and they asked me for a couple dollars, even and this is I don't know what 23 years ago, like when we still used to carry cash around. I might have a couple dollars, but it might be my last couple dollars. But I would feel compelled to give them that money. Like I would be like, I know that I have somewhere to sleep tonight, and I would just, I would think of all these things in my head. And so, what I used to do was I used to wear big sunglasses and headphones, and sometimes even my phone would be dead, or the headphones wouldn't even be plugged in. But it was
yeah.
like I felt like if I made eye contact, then they would see me as like a mark or a sucker, or or because I've seen people do that. I've been with people that did do that to people. When I was unhoused, I didn't necessarily do that because I would figure out different things, but I've seen people do that. Like they would look for vulnerable people, like, oh, she looks like she's got money. Like, let's talk to her. So I knew, but that's not the norm. Like that's not I don't think that's the norm. And I don't think that I'm not saying that unhoused people at all are just like looking for marks. But what I'm saying is like they're in a desperate situation. So if they can, and like, and what you have to go through in that situation to even be in a position to where you have, brought yourself down to the level to where you have to ask a stranger for money, like whether it be for alcohol or drug addiction or whatever, like that's just, I mean, it's very from someone who's been there. It's a very demoralizing, very dehumanizing, very traumatic thing that was very hard to come back from.
Mm,
But with someone, and so when I got out, of course, the number one thing that I wanted to do when I started doing good, is like in 2007, in 2008, I started working. I was doing really good, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a little money. And so if I was at the bus stop and somebody asked me for $5, I would have $5 to give them. And somebody said something one day, and they were like, "Aren't you afraid that he's going to go buy beer with it?" And I didn't say anything. And another one of my friends said, if you are in a position to give money to somebody, if you're in a position to donate money to somebody, whether it be $5, $100, whatever, if you're in a position to where you're willing to give that money away, once you put that money in that person's hand, it is no longer your business what they do with that money,
mm,
because you are not giving that money away for them to go automatically. You're giving that money to them because you're in a position to either maybe you've been blessed or whatever you want to call it, and you have money to give. And I depended on the kindness of strangers for a very, very long time. So now when strangers ask me for money, not that I have a lot of money, but if I do have 5, 10 bucks, I do what I can. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys see me raising money for people on LinkedIn. For people, for survivors on LinkedIn all the time. I think we added up, we're almost at about 10,000 that I've just raised, just asking people on LinkedIn for money
Wow.
since October, which is incredible. Like the fact that people just randomly give me money for these things, but I'm also very transparent about it, and I talk about this a lot. I'm very transparent about it. I take screenshots and I redact the survivors' names, and I'm very, very transparent about it. And so it's all above board. But once you give someone money, once you do that, you're not doing that for them. You're not. I'm sorry, you're not doing that because you don't need a attaboy. Good job. I need a pat on the back. You're not doing it for that. You're doing it because you're in a position to where you have 5 bucks and you can throw 5 bucks at somebody. If they go in and if they walk in and buy beer, then that's what they need at that moment. You
Mm,
that does not take away or negate from your goodwill. Does that
mm,
make sense? Like you
yeah.
still took out of your heart and gave something to somebody. And even if
Mm,
they go buy $5 worth of crack or whatever, you still did. It's like you're doing it for like just the universe, and just like just like another star in your crown. And it's not and so I think that's really important to remember that we can't expect like right now if I saw well, I don't know, not right now, but if I saw someone in my area that was like, "Hey, I need $100." And I would be like, "Well, what is it for? What are you gonna do with it?" I'm not gonna give him $100. I might give him 10 or 15, and he could do whatever. But I'm not gonna judge him for it. And I'm not saying that you do, but I'm just saying, like, for anybody that's listening, if you are at like the stoplight and those guys that come in, I don't know, in America, there's a lot of stoplights and then people will come, or a lot of times at stoplights,
yeah.
on house people will come and they'll clean your windows and they'll
Mm,
sort of like demand payment, which is really annoying and very aggressive. And I'm not real happy. I don't really like that. However, if you do give them money, that's their money. Like once it leaves your hand, you can't judge or, because you don't know what they may be going through. And so I'll just encourage anybody just to remember that, the next time that once that money leaves your hand, it's no longer your business what they do with it.
yeah.
I said all
Yeah.
that to say that.
Yeah, of course. And thank you so much for sharing. And I truly believe also that I realized that there is a story that I was hearing many years ago. It was a wake up alarm from someone, a message, and said that the father, the father want to give a lesson to his son, and so he's saying to his son, "Okay, here is a gemstone. Go to the supermarket on the street, and when they ask you your price, just raise this, and then go to the jewelry and do the same with another stone, and then go to the museum." So the supermarket, $50, the jewelry, 5,000, and the museum, 5 million. So it's about the value based on the environment and the people that are in this environment. So the thing is,
100%. Yeah.
the thing that I like is that I could imagine when you talked about the bus ride, I could imagine that if they have the choice, they rather prefer. I assume that they rather prefer to be riding as a driver a bus for free rather than to stay on the streets asking for money, because they
Mhm.
are in a position that they are in service and they are acknowledged. Like I was going to Luca, my conference of 2 days, and we have
Yeah.
a
How is that? Has that been going good? You sounded really excited about it on your
yeah,
message
so
last night.
I would talk that after my
Okay.
sentence, but I was there was the shuttle, and there was a shuttle that goes from the city to a place like 5 or 10 kilometers outside the city, a shuttle from the train station, and that was an elder driver, not always an elder driver, but I could imagine, or it could be like, oh, in that place there is a service like a buffet or drinks, and people are serving drinks to us. So I could imagine now, imagine that there are community members, that the bus driver is homeless, that the one that is serving the drink is homeless. It could be like they are more valued there because they are at service, they are helping, and that's the thing that I still mentally struggle about money, because I rather, it's I think it's maybe I say it vulnerably, but if there is someone that is a community member that is on the street, I was seeing that anyway when I was to Tarragona in Barcelona, on the street near a church, and was playing saxophone, and it was a great music. It was amazing, and
Oh
for me,
yeah, those like the street performers.
yeah, that's it. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
and for
They're incredible.
yeah, and for me, and I know that it's my fault, but for me, in my mind, I give them more value and credit than the people that are just showing and say, please give me money, please, 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 you know.
Or for example, so in America we have these stores called Home Depots.
Mm,
So a lot of times like my dad does a lot of construction and stuff. And he would show up at a Home Depot, and like not like we don't live in a city, but there's a city near us. And he would go to Home Depot really early, and he used to tell me, and I've heard other people talk about this, but there would be people there just waiting outside of home. And Home Depot is like if you need to buy like lumber, home improvement, if you need to buy a washer, dryer, tile, light bulbs, fixtures, all that. Like if you for a house, if you want to build a house, like and garden, all that stuff, like home improvement, and construction. So there would be people, there would be like 20, 30 people waiting outside of this store every morning. And like at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And this happens all over America every single day. There's people that are waiting that are like, and some of them, yes, some of them are, undocumented immigrants that maybe couldn't get employment otherwise. But some of them aren't. And so but it's like they're not just sitting around. What is it called? Sitting on your laurels. They're not sitting around waiting. Like they're actually trying to do, the best that they can. And I think, you know what, Ollie, I think that the people that are worth knowing and the people that we love and that we know, and the people like our tribe, you know what I mean? The people that are in my tribe, your tribe, my boyfriend's tribe, my parent, like our tribe, our big tribe, are the people that are willing to, you know what, I'm not going to necessarily take what life has given me. I'm going to take what life has given me and I'm going to make it better. And I'm always going to keep pushing and moving forward and being ambitious. And not only that, but I'm going to lift up the people around me on the way. I'm going to raise up other, like for example, women. Women are so catty and competitive with each other. And so like I think it's so important to like just acknowledge that like women, like, we raise up other women. Like we rise together. Like we don't rise by kicking each other down. Like you might get a couple steps up, but then guess what? Everybody's down on the ground, and then you there you are. But if you help each other rise, then you all work together to build this huge ladder, and everybody rises. And so yeah, I think that's important. Hey,
yeah,
Kenya is out. Oh, and Alexi's here. Oh,
yeah, I
nice.
see. So Kinga, I never know how to pronounce her first name. I think it's Kinga and not Kinga, but Kinga, thank you so much. And also Alexandria, thank you so much for,
Lexi has the best emojis. She always has the best emojis. She,
yeah,
dude, she is such a sweetheart. I don't know if you've had a chance to really connect with her, and anybody that's on this restream. If you've not had a chance to connect with Lexi, she is doing amazing stuff. She is one of these. You guys hear me all the time talking about, human trafficking and anti-trafficking and organizations and how all these organizations are doing it wrong and like what they should be doing it right. If I had a perfect scenario to where somebody came to me and were like, Kristen, I'm going to do this organization. I'm going to start from the bottom up, and I'm going to do it A, B, C, D, and E. And they were to do it like what I think would be perfectly. Alex is doing it. She is taking her very much. value time, and she is doing all of the training and work and everything that she should be doing. Like, she's building it from the ground up. She's not like, "Ooh, I want to be a nonprofit and I want to do this." She's being so intentional about the process that it's incredible. Like, she is so refreshing and inspiring to me. Like, she is a new friend of mine over the last few months, and I just love her. Oh, and there's Peter. Hey, Peter.
Yeah, welcome Peter, welcome Alexandria. So I want to shift now to your life, your journey. I'm not going to share your story to because probably all people are knowing
Yeah.
or not, but this is another session. L- just in few sentences, what are you doing right now?
So the question is, in a few sentences, what am I doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so um, huh, that might take a minute. So a few sentences. So okay, so okay. So you were on the call. Alex was on the call. We're launching the app. We are getting ready to launch the app. So it's through Global Centurion. The app is called A Path to Freedom, um, and it is the very first and the only. It's revolutionary, you guys. I can't wait till you guys can see it. I got to do the landing pages today, and to do the user interface, and pick all the fonts and the buttons and everything. And it was so exciting. It's something we've been working on for a very long time, and it's the only survivor vetted, survivor crowdsourced, survivor operated, survivor maintained app ever. Never been invented before. We're the first ones. And so there is this sweet lady. Her name is Barbara Amaya. She passed away unexpectedly in February. This app was her idea about 4 or 5 years ago. She told a couple of us about it, like swore us to secrecy, and I kind of forgotten about it. And then she found somebody to get it funded, who is somebody that I consult for now. It's an organization called Global Centurion, and they specifically fight child sex trafficking, and they work for children's rights. Laura Lederer is my direct person. She's the founder. She's my boss, and she um, is she's also too. She's written a book. I can include all these links somewhere. She's written a book. It's really good, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with that. So yeah, no, I'm really excited to launch the app. I just did a webinar yesterday. Yesterday, or I'm sorry, the day before yesterday, with Bill Wolf and Aaron Keller. So I've got some links for that too. But no, just day to day, just trying to fight the good fight, keep the bad guys out, and make sure that we can just end exploitation at every level we can, and to raise survivors and my fellow humans up.
Thank you so much. And you've been through a lot, the 2000s and 2010 years. And um, would you agree that it is not a checkbox? Like, oh, I've come through that. Okay, it's done. I'm
Oh yeah, you're
not.
right, right. Like I exited trafficking, check. I went through a treatment program, check. I went through my
Mm,
therapist, check. Okay, and now I'm healed, check. Yeah, no, that
mm-hmm,
that does not exist. I mean, I talk a lot about how trauma trauma is just a gift that keeps on giving. You know, trauma and grief and PTSD are the gifts that, yes, we can control them to an extent. We can mitigate, we can eliminate a lot of the damage that we receive from them. However, we can never be so presumptuous to add those letters ed to the word heal. I don't believe that anybody is ever healed. I believe we're always in a constant state of healing. And I know that that is not a popular opinion, and I've had some pushback from that, and that's fine. That is just my opinion. I believe that we always should be in a constant state of wanting to be better. And that's what healing is to me. Healing to me is, I want to be better tomorrow than I was today. That's what healing is. So whatever that looks like for you, or for anybody, that's you know I lost my train of thought. Well, tell me the question again. Thank you. And, oh yeah, yeah. Now I remember. Oh yeah. So yeah, no. So this is something we always have to be vigilant on. And I do see a path of, I do see a path of, um, overall being healed. But I think though a little bit of it though is like it's almost I almost feel like that if God were to if the God of the universe whatever was to heal me completely and like say I just wake up tomorrow and I have no PTSD, I have no ADHD, I have no depression, and I'm just like what I would call a normal, person. What would I do like with my life? Like I feel like that my those scars and that pain and that raw just like getting ripped open in my heart, that is what keeps me fighting so hard for everything that I do, and I don't ever want to lose or forget or not know what that was about. So while I can heal and I can do better and I can move on, I feel like it's really important that we always remember sort of, I guess the phrase like remember where you came from sort of thing.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I might have got off tangent on on that
it's
question.
okay. It's okay, and I have two metaphors with that. The first metaphor is that if like imagine there are two elements that needs to be stick together through a driver, like there is the screwdriver that needs to, and so you are acknowledging that, then you are using the screwdrivers, but through time you will always remember that the elements will move and at some point they need another hit of screwdriver again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, yeah, like it doesn't always like I can't just like go to therapy, once a week for the next 2 years and then just stop. And then when
Mm,
I'm 60, be like, why is my brain so messed up? Like these are it's a maintenance. It's I think it's a maintenance kind of program. And I think that but I don't necessarily think that but I do think that the modalities of therapy change, like, where group therapy or CBT may have been appropriate for me 20 years ago, maybe EMDR may be appropriate now, or maybe, what is it called? Somatic therapy may be better. Like, I do think that those therapies and the way that we heal, maybe it would be good for me this summer to, I'd be working out in my garden and doing stuff like that. That's therapy for me right there. So I may need less like in house one on one therapist therapy. You know what I mean? So I do think the way that we heal changes often. I think it's very fluid and very dynamic, and I think that we just need to acknowledge that and and not be stuck in like one like this is the one thing that can fix me. This is the only thing can fix me. This is the only way that I can get
mm,
better. I don't think that's true. I think there's lots of ways that we can do that.
yeah, and the second reflection I was having is that it is not because enfin, you don't have to wait to be perfect that there anyway there is not a perfect healing, but you don't have to wait in order to be of service. I think also you can be of service and being in the healing process, and not being in the healed and then being at service, because then you are never at service, because then you are never healing totally. So I think the most important is realizing that you can be of service and help others to heal while you are
Oh,
healing yourself.
100%. Like, so when I first got, so like I said, I got out in like 2005, 2007, 2009, I was in a program. But like by 2007, I was like, boom, I'm good. I'm healed. I got a year clean. I'm good. Let's do this. I'm going
Mm,
around speaking, talking to people. And apparently I did really good, but like I was batshit crazy in the head. Like, but I was still what I was putting out was good stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm sure I did a lot of stuff wrong, but like, no, I know people to this day. I know survivor leaders right now that are 10, 12 years removed that like on a personal level, like their life is in chaos, but they can go out there and they can train a group of 120 law enforcement officers better than anybody that I've ever met. So I do think there's a lot to be said for go ahead, do what you want to do your passion, find the thing that you care about. It doesn't matter if you now there need to be some healing and some maturity that comes along with before you do what you do? Absolutely. But yeah, but like you said, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be feel like that you're like, oh, I'm in this space that I want to be in. Just do it. Like just get up, just go do it. Like even if it's something little, just go find something to do. Find one thing you care about. Do one thing that you care about every single day. And Sherlock just cares about barking. So I'm gonna mute and let you talk.
Yeah, thank you so much. And also, I was thinking, lots of things to think about. Yeah, I was thinking also that the person that you are serving, the person that you are helping, you are a kind of a teacher or a coach for them, but they are also teacher and coach to you. They are also giving you information, or you are learning also from them, because at some point you can also say, hmm, in that situation I was not acting appropriately to this person. She got activated by something, whatever. This is a sign that I could improve myself. So it's not only, this is a two-way. So that's really important also to say to, I believe, to, as a coach to the coachee, as a teacher to the learners, the students, or as a someone like you to survivors, to say to them, look, I am here to help you, and at the same time you are also here to help me, because you will give me value by your presence.
Well, like you even told me the other day, I told you I was grateful for you highlighting Martha, and you're like, I totally do this for self-serving purposes. And I know we were joking, but I help people a lot, and because that's the thing that I have to do. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. It gives me value. It gives me purpose. It gives me a reason. If I didn't like, if one day I just woke up and and the universe was like, you can do anything in the world you want, but nothing that you do can help another person. I don't know what I would do. Like, and it's not that I'm just like, oh, I'm just like Mother Teresa and I'm this great person. No, it's just that me and no, okay, I'm sorry, let me go back. So Min Dong is the founder of Survivor Alliance, which is an amazing survivor organization. She's a survivor. She said 4 days ago we had a webinar, and we had a group that we were in, and she made a comment that really resonated with me and has been stuck in my head ever since. She said, her trauma response, she's a doctor and she's got all this training, and so she said her trauma response to her trauma was literally being she is obsessed with activism and advocacy, and that's her trauma response. So by feeding back into others, she said, because if she could feed back into others and help others in the way that she wasn't helped, that was like her mental capacity repairing the harm that was done. So I don't know how that works, but like I'm upset. Like my mom says that I'm physically incapable of just ignore of not doing something. Like that I physically cannot. I can't ignore it. I can't ignore injustice. I can't ignore, it's a lot of time. Sometimes it's to a fault. Sometimes it's not been good for me. A lot of times I will burn out. I mean, we've had these conversations. Where I have to step back. I have to take a break. It gets to be too much, but then I run right back into it. And so it's like it's finding that healthy balance. But like when you care about stuff so much, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be trafficking. Like whatever it is, you have to care about yourself first. What is it about? You got to put the oxygen mask on your face first.
Mm.
I have a real hard time doing that. And so it's about finding a healthy balance for me, and that's really really hard for me. But yeah, but feeding back into others, giving back to others, helping others. And again, it's not that I'm just, I mean, yes, I'm a good person and all that, and it's really not all just completely altruistic. It's not. A lot of it, because it makes me feel good, it makes me feel needed. And when I feel needed is when I feel like I have a place in the world. When people
Mm.
need me, when I know that there's a problem, and this is a problem that I can solve that either maybe nobody else can solve or very few other people can solve. This is something I can do to affect this and change this and make this better. That's that's the biggest win in the world for me. It's So it's very important for me to give back. But again, like I said, it's I don't want to be like, oh, I'm just like this amazing person that just dedicates their lives to others. A lot of it has to do with it just makes me feel good.
Yeah, and also because they see most of you, they see the light, they see like this Instagram, LinkedIn, they don't see the back end, they don't see the darkness, they don't see all the process, they don't see the survivors shares, brother, all the things that are going through. That they don't see the death that you are living, and also the fact that um, I am not a survivor, but I could imagine that it's already not easy to be on a place to ask for help. And so I try to understand you. It might also feel very uncomfortable to tell them that I'm really sorry, and I can refer you to another person that I myself I am not in the position with the time, with the energy, with the mental health to be able to help you because I will not be able to help you at 100%. And
But
you what?
all you don't even have to go into all that. You can just, have a good day, sir. You don't. I mean, I know that you want to provide resources, but I do know that feeling though that when you feel like almost like somebody's kind of cornered you, and you feel like you maybe should do something for them or you should, provide resources or do something like that. So, but don't ever feel like obligated. But that you can just, say, thank you, sir. I hope you have a great day and just keep moving. Like, don't ever feel like you have to explain yourself to anybody. And I see you yawning. Hey, I want to hear about your conference. It's very late. You've been walking just hours and hours back and forth. And what's going on? How's it going? Let's
Well,
talk about you. Enough of me.
okay, so will say that this session share about Christine is over, and now I will share about myself. Thank you, but I will sleep probably in 5-10 minutes, so it will be short. But I will share more in details on the video later on. Probably making a special restream. I don't know. So, in fact, um, I'm connected to this community since 2 or 3 years. They are based in Ireland and they have a chapter in Italy.
Is it so
And
that's where you're at? You're in Italy right now?
yes, so
See, okay, I'm gonna interrupt you. In America, we're so jealous because like you guys, because you live in Belgium, right?
yes,
Okay, so you guys can go. You can be from Belgium to Italy to. I'm not good at geography, but you guys can just hop on a train or something and go to all these different countries. I hop on a train. I'm in Virginia. I end up in like Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like there's we're so jealous. Like there's all these different languages and all these cool places. Like the countries that you go to on a weekly, monthly basis are like bucket list countries of mine. So, but I know that over there, like, I know that when it's in our own backyard, it doesn't seem as like exotic or fun, or if we grow up doing that. But just no, I'm super jealous.
I
Yeah, I'm super jealous.
I totally acknowledge you, and I want also to share my observation that even if it's different, you have 50 states in US, and also that even if it might seem like we are all speaking English, there are also a strong community of Spanish and of Chinese Mandarin, and so it means that and many other cultures and languages. So why not imagining to see the beauty and the greener grass while exploring your own state and finding places where are like Chinatown or whatever, because it happens also in US. I believe there are also communities or people that are not speaking English as a mother tongue, and that you can discover. So that's for the US part. And so let me continue about Kingston College. So they are based in Ireland, and it's about coaching, how to have the best coaching practices. They are making trainings, and I was aware about them 2 or 3 years ago through a share from a friend, and that was meeting them face to face at different moments. And so I was never meeting them before until yesterday and today. And that's why I came to Luca. Also, because there was another opportunity to see a dear friend that I will not mention her first name because it's her intention to not share. But in, she was going to be in Italy, and finally she was not able, and so I will not see her at the end. But I was having a second incentive to go to there. The third incentive was to see again my friends, Milko and Giusy, at Bologna. That was my third incentive. So I was thinking, oh, there is this webinar, the Kingston College, that are organizing a conference in Lucca. This is my sign from the universe because there was a second incentive and a third incentive. Why not? So I said yes.
Oh wait,
And
and let's just remind our audience that that's where you were walking to this morning when you were sending me when we were talking, right?
yeah,
You walked and you wanted to do this so bad, and you were like, "Hey, I'm just gonna walk," and it was that little bit further than maybe you thought it was.
yeah. So before that, so they announced the session last year, and I made my decision probably um, end of March or end of April when there was the deadline. Was the deadline that oh, after this date it's not 99 euro, it's 150. So I was thinking, oh, why not making my decision right now? And and then I was finding an hotel outside Lucca, and for most of the little cities of Italy, uh, after 1 or 2 kilometers, there is no anymore ways for pedestrian to walk uh, safely on a appropriate setting. They have to walk on the street where there are cars passing by. So at some point, for me, it was a good walk, but at some point, I've seen the cars like zoom, zoom, and at some point, I was thinking, am I going still to learn this lesson of what are the solutions, or am I going to struggle and to say, no, I'm going to be my stubborn Ollie and to anyway to do it on my own and to walk. So the good news is that I found a taxi a few hours ago and I came back to here.
I'm so
Uh,
glad. I was a little nervous about those messages. You were like, "It's dark and there's cars and I don't know." So I'm glad you found a taxi.
that's it. And the second thing is that um, to connect with people. So I was thinking originally that we would be 20, 30 people, and we were 60 to 100 people. I don't know exactly, but it was impressive. And of course, a huge community of Italians. So I was able also to attend, there was sessions in English and sessions in Italian, and that was a gem. And more than the
Very cool.
content, like the topics were about coaching, but various, like the future of coaching, AI, team coaching, and group coaching, supervision, like a coach goes to a supervision group, telling his issues about a coaching and blah blah blah. And so it was amazing to connect with people. And I was not knowing a lot of people, just 2 or 3 person on Zoom. And it was nice to have during these 2 days the fourth and the fifth dimension, the 4D and the 5D. To okay, let's touch, let's drink, let's celebrate. In
Okay,
order,
I was getting ready to say,
in,
what is the fifth one? I didn't know about the fifth one.
the so all the
It's probably a
senses.
whole nother webinar. I can
So
Google it, but
no, but in Zoom we have the audio and the visuals.
okay.
In face to face we have the touch. We could have also the smell.
Well, isn't that like also too what like when you toast wine glasses because
That's
it
it.
brings all five senses? It's like taste, smell, touch.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, I think it's the same kind of principle.
So for me, it's about uh, feeling the community and they are caring, and also acknowledging because there was also a graduation ceremony. There was students there. I'm not a student. I would say the magic word yet, because maybe one day, but I will. There was also celebrating students were having certification and they were celebrating there in that event. So they were having like this kind of hat, and their diploma and click clack the photos, and it was amazing, So I think it's a community that cares, and I truly felt it there. And they are really now my second community, my best
Mm.
second community. So
It's really cool just seeing you getting out of your kind of comfort zone and just doing your thing. Like you're like like we talked about last night. The you're a you try to connect the heart or the brain and the heart, and you want
mm,
to be able to do that in person as well, and not just talk about it. You want to be about it, and I think it's what you're doing. And I think it's very admirable, and I'm proud of you.
and last but not least, I have another insight is that I don't know how much time or much day that I will be in Bologna, but I will trust my gut. I will be sure to ask for help, and also I will. Um, there was a sign, like some person was sharing what uh, uh, um, what she gone through, and she was saying, "Luca, the conference, I took it like a reset time because I got this and I got that and then I got
Oh
Luca.
yeah, conferences are great. You get really filled up, and you have like a momentum. Like it's almost like a high when you leave that you kind of you're on.
Yeah, so my intention, I don't know if I will stay longer at Bologna, but I will probably not go home quickly. I think I can, whether I stay or not at Bologna, I will find a way to extend the journey abroad, whether in Italy or in another country, and to take few days to reflect, to journal, and to draw my next steps. And also my commitment, my manifesto that I would call manifiesta, and also what I'm going to go to decide now, whether the domain of my life is. So for me, it's really a timing because it was happening also during a week after the transition of my mom, the 8th of May. And I will be 48 in the 21st of June, in a few weeks. So I think this, if it's not the right moment, when will it be? I think it is now the occasion that I can take to stay longer abroad and to take time on my own, on myself. Of course, to have
You have
fun and to connect with people, but also to have time on my own, to reflect
yeah,
and to draw my next steps.
you have to do that, and I think Alexi or Alex said earlier, how can you pour into others from an empty cup? And Alex, I don't know the name of it, but somebody told me about this book, and you have kids, and I bet Alex knows about this book. It's something about something about filling a bucket, and you got to fill your bucket up before you can fill anybody else's bucket up. And it's a kid's book, and I want to find that book. But yeah, you have to do that. And like I can tell you this all day long, and I will tell Cherry this, and I will tell everybody this, like all the time. Like, hey sis, you gotta slow down. You need to reset. You need to recharge. You know what? But it is so hard for me to do that for myself. But I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at saying no to things. I'm getting better at saying I don't have capacity, but we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. And so I'm so excited that you're taking this time and like, hey, I'm going to spend a couple of extra days in Barcelona, and I'm going to, do these extra, these things that I can do while I have the chance. And so good for you.
Yeah, so by instance, I will probably say, share a post in LinkedIn saying that I'm going to be in Bologna and that if everyone wants to meet and is in Bologna, feel free to meet. And then to say, If you are in Italy or in Germany and you would like to meet me, let me know because then I can maybe it will be okay. You are able to see me, you are willing to see me, you are in that place. Okay, then I will go to that place for a few days and I will bounce between seeing this person and being on my own to reflect, and then I will come home.
That's so funny. That's what I've been doing like this past year. Like whenever I go to conferences, like when I went to Ohio to a conference, I'm like, hey, all the people in Ohio that I know, it's like never been to Ohio before, know like 6 or 7 survivors there, and different organizations. And so I just bounced around Ohio for like 2 weeks. And then, and then I went to Vegas and I was like, well, hey, while I'm out here, while I'm on this side of the country, it's on the exact opposite side of the country. How about I also go through Arizona and see people that I know and then go here. And like, so I try to do it all at once. I'm like, wow, because then I'm going to want to go home and just like hibernate and be in my cave for like a month.
Hmm.
Right,
Yeah,
Alex? Yes. Can we teleport to Italy, please?
that's it. That's it. That's it. So, I will probably end this session in 5 or 10 minutes, but at the end, I would like to honor your presence, Christine, and also say that um, I am I am really blessed of me. I am willing to love myself more, to say that also every step is a step that is important in my journey. That and also to know how to let go of my pattern of struggle because I am the Oli that was struggling. I want to become the Oli that will not struggle anymore. And so at some point, it's also to accept that someone is jumping in your lap and giving some licks also to receive help. So that's also to be able to accept the help or to be able to listen to the message of the universe. I have an example. I was this morning anyway to have a walk to go from my place to Luca. So I was having the classic walk. Then I've seen a bus stop. Then I go further. I see another bus stop. And right there, then I see the bus arriving. Guess what I chose? I didn't take the bus. I said, oh no, I'm just near a city. I don't need to take the bus. So at some point, it's a universe that's saying, Ollie, won't you accept the help? Do you receive my message? Won't you accept the help that I'm giving to you? Or would you play your broke Ollie, your struggle Ollie?
Right. Or will you just keep beating your head up against that brick wall or will you accept the help? Yeah.
That's it. So that's my lesson right now. So that's in fact I love this. Will be the end of the session metaphor. In French, grenade, pomegranate, but grenade could mean also the little bomb that you will and that you throw. That is grenade.
Oh, okay. What is it? A drink? What is it?
Yeah, it is a drink. Like
Okay.
it's the origin, the fruit, and
Oh, okay.
it's the way the meaning of the word grenadine.
Oh,
I
like
think.
grenadine. It's from okay,
Yeah,
grenadine. So it's
yeah,
like cherry juice.
yeah. And so it's like I have tools, but it's
Yeah,
not
we do. It's
only
but recognizing
it's
those tools and seeing those tools and then accepting those tools
using
is so hard.
using using these tools.
Yep.
Like another example, I used last night.
Yeah.
I came back to my place at night with cars, and I used my smartphone as a lamp torch to show to the cars I am here. But I was having in my backpack a true lamp torch that my dad gave as a gift, and I was not using it. So what is the intention
Right, like,
the
why carry it
thief.
around? Did you forget you had it, or you're just like, "Oh, this will be easier, I'll use my phone?"
Maybe because I was also watching the map. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, the point is that the lesson was I have tools, but what and what if the universe then decide, oh, next time, why do I bother to give him tools if he's not using them anyway?
Well, thank you so much, Ollie. I love this last minute things. I know you used to do like last minute ones a lot, and then you got more of on a schedule.
Mm,
And so, but I love the last minute ones, and just thank you so much for having me and Sherlock on. Next
thank you
time maybe
so
he will
much.
be a little better. Actually, he's not a bad dog. He's just a puppy. He's a puppy, and he's just super excited about everything all the time, which I think is a way that a lot of people will describe me.
I
So,
I
pretty sure this is
totally
the dog I'm supposed to have. So,
I
thank you
thought
guys.
I
Thank you for everyone that logged in.
Christine, I totally resonate because I'm like Sherlock. I also need love.
You see this? Look, look. Do you see
Yeah,
this?
I need love. I need
Yeah,
love as Sherlock also. So hugs
yeah.
to you, next to Sherlock, and thank you again, Christine. I am closing the session right now.